Hello and welcome to the Why Marketing Podcast. I'm Cam Heisman, joined by my co-host Alex Basso. Today we're breaking down how service-based businesses can turn Instagram into a client-attracting machine. We're going to be covering simple organic tactics and engagement strategies, savvy paid ad techniques, top-performing content formats, and how to leverage AI and SEO to amplify your reach and build a thriving community. All right, everyone, let's dive right in.
We are Why, the marketing podcast for service brands that want to grow. No fluff, no hype, just what's real. Marketing moves fast, here's the deal. What's working now, what's coming next? Tune in, level up, we'll handle the rest.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the podcast. How you going, Alex?
Hi, Cameron. Everything's going well. Hi, everyone. I'm glad that you're here with us, and I'm glad to talk to you again about this marketing world.
I agree. It's been a lot of changes over the last couple of weeks, I think. There's been a lot going on. So I have this really big light for the people that are viewing us in my face from the sun on the angle. I know that you probably can't see it, so let me just move myself to position myself in the right spot. Here we go. All right. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. It's been a pretty busy space over the last couple of weeks. So this week we're going to be chatting a bit more about how turning Instagram into a client attracting machine for yourselves as business owners in the service space, and just things that you can do. Look, they don't have to be over the top or very challenging. They're just low-hanging fruit that things can actually help you out, and some quick changes that you can do yourself. Alex has a lot of experience growing Instagram organically. I would say I have more experience in the space, not saying more experience from Alex, but in paid advertising. That's kind of where I sit inside of in Instagram, whereas Alex has a lot of experience in organic, especially with the growth of, I guess, subscribers. Am I right, Alex?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things that I would say is that Instagram, organic Instagram it's a weird beast. Yeah. It's complicated. It's a thing that a lot of people get discouraged after a little while because it seems it's not growing a lot. But it is. I mean, it will grow over time. But you just have to be very, very consistent, very, very, have a lot of time to be engage into the platform, to just go into accounts that are similar to yours, like content, comment, be very, very active in the platform. And it's like a game. They actually give you kind of awards once you are very, very active in the platform and show you more. Yeah, it's like a little game that they play there. So I
like that analogy. That's good. A bit of a game to play inside of it. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it's definitely like that. It behaves like that. I mean, the algorithm on Instagram, I mean. On most social media, but especially Instagram and also TikTok, have this kind of game approach that if you are very, very active in the platform and do things, they kind of give you perks and give you more reach and give you and level you up. When you're like in a video game, you're leveling up, you're just doing things so your character has more strength or more skills or more things so you can, go to the next level. Instagram is like exactly the same, and TikTok as well. But talking about Instagram right now, it's like that. You have to be very active in the platform. So one of the things or the challenges that a lot of business owners face is time constraints. I do not have time for this. I cannot be in this platform for a long time, or it's too distracting. Once I'm on the platform, I spend hours there. I don't think I did anything because I just watch reels and doom scrolled for for hours and hours. Yeah. So that's one of the things that we all face. I mean, I've faced these kind of challenges too. I'm pretty sure that Cameron has as well. That
100%. I get stuck on it all the time. I think even last night I would have been doom scrolling a little bit. I don't know if it's so much on Instagram for me, probably YouTube Shorts and things like that. But yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
and the algorithm is very powerful. So it will show you things that you like
Yeah,
So
it
you
does.
can,
Yeah.
you can just be there for hours. But what you want to be as a business owner is just part of that, part of that list that someone is watching, that they are interested in, and it's in your field. Like if you are, I don't know, just to put the same example that we always use, which is the hairdresser. If you are
Yeah.
a hairdresser,
Yeah.
you want to be in that, in that space when people are doom scrolling and just watching stuff that have to
Yeah.
do with that, with that kind of field, and that service. So you want to be there, in those infinite reels that people are scrolling. You want to be watched in that space. So that is the goal for Instagram. But as
Mm.
I said, it requires a lot of time. It's something that, I mean, we cannot um lie in this kind of things. It's very hard to automate. It's very hard to
Yeah.
do just like a simple process that will take you, I don't know, 1 hour a day or something like that. It's not like that. It will take time. And not only will take time for you to do the things, I mean, let's put it this way: after you know the platform, it will take less time for you to get results,
Yeah.
because you know what works. You know what to do, when to do it, what are the best times for you, what are the best times for your product or for your service or for your content to be in the platform, or to be, live. What are the best ways to engage with people in your field? When you know all of these details, it's gonna take less time, because you will know. Okay, so I'll log in at 7 p.m. I'm just putting an example out of nowhere. I'll just get on and at 7 p.m. and just engage with a few accounts. These are the accounts that I always engage with. These are the people that I always talk to. These are the people that are actually active in my profile and, giving me likes and stuff like that. I'll just answer to some comments and maybe, watch some reels or go through some stories. And at 8:30 p.m. I'm out, right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of a system that you already have, and it will take you an hour and a half a day, and that's it, and that's beautiful. But before that, I mean, before you have all that set up, there is a process, and the process will be that is the part that will take the most time, because you
Mm.
need to go in, know the platform, know how it behaves, know where is your audience, or where are they located, what are they doing, what are they watching, what are they engaging with, what are the types of content that people are engaging with. Of course, you can use things like in camera. I know you're gonna love this. You can use things like AI
Mm.
just to ask some AI for some help in
Like
this.
personas or things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
for
meaning like
personas. Yeah, for
what's
personas
your
or
audience
for
looking for? What are they
behavior.
wanting to
Yeah, exactly.
watch? All that sort of stuff,
What
right?
are they watching? Like, I don't know, I want people who like really enjoy talking about the beach, because I'm a beach brand, and I
Mm-hmm.
sell things that have to do with beach. I don't know, I'm just
Yeah.
again just saying stuff.
Getting
And
outdoors, outdoor activities, maybe
yeah,
like
getting
people that like to
outdoors.
do that
and
sort of stuff. What things
and
would
it
they
will
be
tell
interested in
you,
seeing?
oh, so people that like this kind of stuff, they are mostly active during the weekends, and they are engaging with this kind of accounts, and these are some accounts that they engage with.
Mm.
These are things that you can actually ask AI. For
Love it.
example, one of the things
It's
that I
true.
asked AI um, for one of the channels that I handle was, what are the best um, performing videos on Instagram that have to do with music or with the entertainment world.
Mm.
And it will give me a list of like 20 topics and 20 artists, or 20 people that are doing very well in that space, and 20 types of content, 20 types of topics that are behaving well in that space. And there it is. I have a guide, like,
Mm.
right, of what to do. And when you have that kind of guidance, it makes it easier to start on it. So you start creating, you put some content on, and right after you put the content, that this is important. Right after you put the content on Instagram, that's the time that you want to engage with people, because people that you are engaging with at that moment are people that are probably online, right?
Yeah. And
They're
you mean
probably on the platform.
just to make it clear for listeners as well, like you mean engagement, by what do you mean by that? You mean going to their channels and maybe putting some
Yes.
comments on there, liking similar things, and
Yes.
how you kind of, because my brain goes to, I guess, for the listeners as small business owners, their key performance indicators is sometimes things like growth or making sure they get business or leads or conversations, right?
Yeah.
From Instagram. So what is that for you? Like, what are you looking for when you're going there to do that engagement piece? Like, what are you actually doing? What's that mean for the listeners?
Okay, so one of the things that I always look on an account is that if they have actual sponsors.
Right.
If they have sponsors, you know that they have enough engagement, because no one's gonna, pay for
Correct.
an ad on any account that is not really, that doesn't have real people on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if they have sponsors, that's a good account. Like, that's a good audience that you can reach. If they have if they are posting regularly, like if they're posting, I don't know, 3 times a week or 4 times a week or 5 times or 3 times a day,
Is
there's
there
a
a
lot
minimum?
of.
Is there a minimum? Sorry, is there a minimum in that?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
not
Okay.
really. I mean, you can post once a week if
And it
your
can do
content is
well.
very, yeah,
Yeah.
it can do well. And if your content is very good, if you have a good audience, it will do well, right?
Yeah. Okay.
um and there is no max either. You can actually post a lot. I've seen media companies that post, like, I don't know, 14 or 15 times a day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
do well. I mean,
Yeah. Of
the
course.
posts actually don't go poorly. So
Yeah.
the thing is, look for these kind of accounts that are, active in the platform, posting regularly with some consistency, and also that are actually engaging with their audience. Like, for example, if they have a lot of comments and they respond to comments, or or like them, or do something with that kind of engagement,
Okay.
that's a good account. That's a very good account to not only to emulate and, kind of do similar things to what they are doing, but also to engage with. And
Yeah.
how do you engage with it? Well, just turn the notifications on for that account, so
Right.
every time
When
they
they post.
post. Yeah.
Okay.
And once they post, it will show up on your phone. So you go there, you hit the like button, you go and leave a comment. Hey, this is awesome. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, you should check out, my page for some other things. Don't be afraid to advertise yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
don't be kind of
The
cheesy,
direct
because
response.
there is,
Ask for it. Yeah.
yeah, there is cheesy advertising, but you can actually do it, in a way that is interesting for
Natural.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only for them, for the other account that you're engaging with, but for the actual people that are seeing that post and see the comments on that account. If you're one of the first, people are gonna see you. A lot of people are gonna see you, because these accounts are obviously accounts that have a lot of people watching their content.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. I mean, these are tips that you can do, of course, and you cannot do everything, because
Don't have the time.
it's a lot of
It's
takes a lot of
7
time.
till 8:30 p.m. You know, if you give yourself that hour and a half, it's still a lot of time, isn't it, out of your day?
Exactly.
Especially
Yeah.
if you're only trying to work 7, 8, or 9 hours a day. Like that's a big
Yeah.
chunk. So it's a big amount of time. I have also been seeing what you're saying is sort of, I guess, shooting off alarm bells, thinking of what I am seeing with Instagram that's changing in that organic space, is that I am seeing a lot of those big names now at the bottom. I don't know what you call it in Instagram. You might know the actual technical term they put for it, but you can see who's liked it at the bottom. It's kind of showing
Yeah.
like who's interacted with that post now. So it's building something I've been talking a little bit about in some of the videos I've been creating is that kind of last stage of marketing. Once you get people in now, starting to build a bit of a community. And I feel like that's what Instagram maybe is moving towards with that, because you're getting recommended to people that you've watched, but have also interacted now with these posts.
Yes.
So
exactly.
I'm trying to say at the bottom. I don't know what it's called, that technical term for it, but
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're mentioning. It's like you're seeing people interact with it with people you've interacted with or watched videos of. So it's kind of topical content that they like as well.
Yeah,
Building that
exactly.
community around someone that that you've been watching, you're now watching content that they're watching, and it's
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely Instagram has been migrating a lot to more to more and more niched content.
yeah, okay,
So if you are a guy that talks about vinyl records, because that's one of the trends that
is it?
Instagram has right now, people talking about vinyl, and
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
buy some vinyl and blah
Community
blah.
of it, right? Makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. Just talking about the experience of buying the thing, the records. If you are that guy, Instagram is really going to show you a lot of content that has to do with that. A lot
Okay,
of content. It's gonna give it to you every time, every day, because they know that you're in that space and they are interested for you for you to build a community around that, right?
yeah,
So that's just one example. But if you are a business that has some sort of product that you want to promote or some service that you want to promote, Instagram is gonna show you content that has to do with that. Once they discover you, once Instagram discovers you and see that you're active in the platform and you are following people, if some people are following you, even if it's 20 people, that's fine. But if it's 20 people that are actually interested in your content, is gonna actually notice that, and it's going to start showing you more and more people that are in that space, so you want to be there. And
yeah,
that's where you identify the big the big players and the big accounts that are actually playing in that field, and they are always active and always doing these videos and lives and stuff like that. And that's where you come in and start engaging with those accounts. And now on the content side, um Instagram right now, it's prioritizing or favoring more content that has uh a combination of video and images, right? In the same post, like a carousel with some videos and some images, or a carousel with videos, like various videos, like one,
so
two,
just
three
tying them
videos.
together. So something that's
Yeah,
all in one
exactly.
piece, you mean? Yeah, or like a
Yeah, in
carousel that
one
maybe
piece.
moves by itself without you having to click through it. Is that right? Or you still want to have the
No,
carousel click through
it's just
or swipe
no.
through?
You have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, you have to
Okay, okay,
swipe it.
okay.
Yes. And also carousels of only images.
Yeah,
That's pretty good as well. But videos work better. I mean,
yeah,
video works better on any platform right now. Is what social media is moving towards for quite a long time right now. Quite a long time at this point. But carousels are the ones that are performing better. If you post just one image or just one video, is not gonna do that well. That if you cut that video in half and just put it in a carousel, it's the
yeah,
same. I mean, it's the same content. You just gonna cut it at second 30, and if it's a 1 minute video, for example, you cut it 30 seconds to 30 seconds and put it in a carousel on Instagram. It's gonna perform better than if you put the whole minute into just one reel.
yeah. It's
It's
too
gonna
long for
perform
people.
better.
It's
Yeah.
too long, and it's looking for
And it's
short,
not
short
it's not
content.
even that I mean, Instagram wants people to actually want to swipe
Right.
and stay there and stay in the piece of content, because once they do that, it means that they are actually interested, and they can read better what are the interests of people that are actually interacting in the platform. So I mean, that's the reason for it. So yeah, that's another tip that has to do more with the type of content that you want to post. What have you encountered on Instagram, apart
Oh,
of these things? As I told you, it's a weird animal.
it's a weird beast.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird beast. It's not easy to navigate, but it can be done. And one of the good things about Instagram is that they have right now a lot of ways to monetize it. They have a lot of
Okay.
ways to actually send people to your website.
Yeah. That's true.
You can put like several links into just one bio in your profile. You can actually set a link in bio thing that you can link or your post to some
Yeah.
link somewhere else, to a service, to a product, to an offer, or whatever. So yeah, they have a lot of options like that. So what have you encountered? Because I know that
Hmm.
are more of an ad guy.
Yeah, always paid ads. That's why I was,
Yeah.
really listening to you around the organic, because again, I don't really do too much with the organic side of things with any of the clients that I work with,
Yeah.
or even for our own side of things. I do believe in organic. I just am such a big believer, as you know, in paid ads, because
Yeah.
I can find the audience. I've seen results over the years, and I'm not saying that organic definitely has its results as well. It can really do it. I just have never really honed in on it. But what I probably see, from what you're saying, is definitely around that community piece, which I think is where 2025 is going. I still believe that. So a lot of the things you're saying is, if someone's selling vinyls, or, recording with vinyls or short snippets of videos, that's what the content people are watching.
Yeah.
From an ad space, that's exactly what I'm creating as well.
Yeah.
I'm creating short pieces of content. I'm finding specific, maybe not so much a niche area like that, but I would say a niche topic or an answer to a problem that maybe the service can provide, so they can help, solve that issue, and then showing multiple snippets of that to allow that business owner to have the like what's the word I'm looking for? I guess to be the industry leader, the thought leader in that space. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to create, so that if we retarget them several times and they start to see those short videos coming through, they want to find out more about that person. They might click through to the profile. I think that's
Yeah.
probably where then we go with the organic spaces. We're trying to get people to either click through or fill out a form that we're putting in front of them, or go to a landing page on a website and click through with the paid ads perspective. So I'm not necessarily trying to grow the channel organically. It's not really something that my strategies would do with Instagram, but I do find with Instagram, with ads, we still do quite well. I mean, it's all run through Facebook Ads Manager, or Meta Ads Manager, let's call it. It's all run through there. So I
Yeah.
run all the Instagram ads through there anyway. I like to check out placements. There's still only a certain amount of placements that we target. We don't target everything on Instagram. We have probably a top 10 that do well out of the 20 placements we can choose, let's say. I also see with Instagram that, again, video is doing very well, but I do see that it's not so much of a place, I feel, that is that, for me personally, I see people not doom scrolling through it. They might go in there and start now looking for information for something. So I've done a video recently on this, but where I'm getting at with that is that people are starting to search on these platforms. So like you were saying, you might be interested in a topic and you search for that video yourself, and then you're going to get shown a whole heap of stuff instead of just necessarily organically scrolling in on it, right? You kind of found something, someone flipping water bottles was the big trend, for it to stand up. You've just come across that and it's become this big thing. But no, people are actually starting to search for items now. So what's happening is their algorithm, I think, is changing quite a lot around building the data behind all the data points behind these people. So for us as advertisers, we can start to see that the ads will start performing a bit better because we're getting down into those niches from the search that people are actually using it as a search tool. You get what I'm saying? So Google ads,
definitely.
You're looking for keywords. People are physically searching for that keyword and you're coming up. Now we have data on, I think it's around, we've said this before in a previous podcast, but from memory is around 60, 70,000 data points from the machine learning that I get to play with every single day. That's the cool part about all the data points that Instagram and Facebook has on the people that I'm targeting. I'm not waiting for them to come across the content anymore. I'm putting this content in front of them because they're already searching for this content themselves. So they're interested in beach life. They're interested in records, music. If I want to target that audience, I can put these ads in front of you right now, and then you're going to get into the chain of it. Now, again, service space, they're looking for a solution to a problem that this service can provide. I think e-commerce, again, I don't really touch on that space, so I don't really see that too much with Instagram. I think you would see that a lot more than what I do. But as far as service-based businesses, I see Instagram as just really being that allowing them to be that thought leader, showing them in multiple places, building the respect for their brand, building the authority. People need to come back to Instagram, maybe vet them. They go through Instagram and go on their website. one big thing that I did see in the past, I don't know if you've had too much experience with this, but I know I have seen this in the past with a guy that I was at a presentation with, and he was on stage presenting about it. It was the DM strategy, so direct messaging strategy. I don't know how well it's still going. Again, organic strategy, not something that I do or our clients do. But what he was doing was without giving away too much about what it was, he was providing a service, but it was for production, for video and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But what he would do is he would have this amazing catchy video at the beginning with a camera that, let's say, was worth $15,000 to $20,000. So it was a super flashy object that that knew that niche, that people that knew video. He was trying to target really niche down specific industry. So I don't know, let's say for you example, you might see a guitar that's like 100 grand or something like that. And you're like, wow, I want to watch that. Or you're a car guy and you see, a Lamborghini, or you see whatever it may be, right? And you're like, I want to watch that movie because I enjoy that stuff. So he would do the same thing, but then he would target all the people to, once they follow his page, they would instantly DM them. And he was doing very well from that because he was building a community. He was also selling a course off the back of that. But the people that were interested in that topic, you get where I'm going with this? He would already have that audience coming in. So he was building that community on Instagram. That was an organic strategy that he was doing because he had that flashing object. Good. It was smart, right? And he did very well from that. Whereas I don't do those sorts of things. I'm very much just paid ads. Again, I can target you if you like sport. I can target you if you like guitars. I can target you with all those interests, right? I can figure out what you want and I can put it in front of you. But when you're going organic, I think to the point where you're saying is it's just engaging content, getting back into the platform, working with it for maybe an hour and a half a day. It's very interesting. It's a different world to what I'm used to, but I can see why business owners can get confused and aren't too sure what to do, right? Because there's just so much that they need to understand about it. Let's move on to something around then. What would you let's keep this split. Whereas I think you keep talking about, the organic space, because I know you've built that channel up, that you've got channels and clients you've built up to thousands and thousands of followers. I think the split is good. So what's something you think that a business owner can do that's going to get them a good ROI from an organic space? Like, what's just some really basic things that they could start doing today? I know you mentioned a couple, jump on, but they might not have an hour and a half. They might not have 90 minutes. What's something they could do in 15, 20 minutes?
Well, I promise you I'll get to that. But first, let me address a few things that you talked about that I think are very important.
Okay.
Number one, SEO. I think SEO on the platform is very, very important right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Every platform on social media right now is moving towards the SEO approach that Google has.
Yeah.
So you need to use the keywords on your bio, on your posts. Use the hashtags, not a lot. I mean, not like, when we use like 20 hashtags or something like that. You can use maybe 5 or 6 that are very, very niched. Those are still working. They're not working as they did before, but they are still bringing some people in.
Relevance.
Yeah. And try to use them, very, very relevant keywords that are not, just random stuff, right? But yes, the text is very important that you have the keywords in there, because the algorithm is going to recognize that. It's going to, index that into the searches of the people that are, searching for things that are related to your field, or are related to your business, or that are related to the topic that you want to educate about or talk about or be a thought leader on. So that's one of the things. The other thing is, as a service business, you do need to educate. You do need to be a thought leader. That's the best way to do it. And of course, you want to entertain a little bit and, maybe just do some interesting content or some fun content for people to watch.
But it doesn't have to be viral stuff, right? It doesn't have to be like this wild. Yeah, that's the thing I think a lot of business owners get stuck with. It's like, it doesn't have to be. It can be real.
I want to make a post that has a lot of likes. And no. You can tell a story. You can tell a story. You can talk about your process You can talk about the things that you're doing and why are you doing them. The things that are important to clients that you've already served, at some point, or even the a story of an actual customer that is telling how your service helped them to XYZ, things like that. So, but that's important. Like, try to educate, entertain, empathize with the people that you think might need your service at some point. That's a very good
And
a
how
very good strategy.
how to do that, just so that I can, because I know, putting myself in the business owner's shoes again, they get stuck with how to figure that out. Go to ChatGPT, go to Gemini, use some LLM, large language model, or some AI tool that
Yeah,
can help you out to figure that out. Because I think people get stuck there. They really do.
yeah.
So keep
And
going. I
show
just want to
show
put
your
that point in.
process. What
Yep.
I would say is show your process. Gary Vee says this all the time, and I think sometimes he actually explains as well. Other times he just rants, but
Yeah.
but he's very funny in that way. But what I think is, he nails it on. It's You need to show your process as it is, because people then will say this guy is genuine, this is
Yeah.
human, this is not something very corporate, out there, that is just selling stuff, and I will never know the face of some, the people who are selling me this kind of service or things like that. No, show your human side, client stories. It's easier for people to say yes if they know you as a human, as a person,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
if they know you just like a random company out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Behind the
so
scenes
that's,
as well. No, just be
yeah.
real. It doesn't have to be a
And,
professional studio.
and be aware that it's well, before I say this, on paid ads, be aware that it's a lab. It's something that you can experiment with.
Yeah.
The platform changes constantly. It has a lot of things. Treat it as a place to test content, to message and direct message people, for example. There are two ways to do it on the messaging.
Okay.
And it works for both for paid and for organic.
I think I know where you're going with this.
One one of them is, of course, the message people once they follow you,
Yeah.
and tell them, hey, thank you for following me, whatever. Just a very try to make a message that is not too long, because if it's too long, people are not going to read it. Try to do it very short and sweet, and just a little bit of a call to action there, like, yeah, here's my website, check it out, or if you need anything, just let me know. I'm here. I'm Cameron or Alex or whoever. I am a person who actually you can name by name.
Yeah.
So that's important. So that's one thing. And there is the request message, like you say, with a call to action. If you are interested, you tell a story, a very interesting story, or solve a problem that that your customers have, or your potential customers may have. You solve it in one post. Either it's a video or a series of videos or a series of images, with little captions and stuff like that. And at the end, you say in the call to action, if you are struggling with this, or if you want to know more about this, or if you want to give me some questions about that, or ask me some questions about what you just read or saw or watched, send me a DM. So that way you are enticing them to send you a DM, and then you can answer.
And that's
it's
from the content piece, right? That's from the front end.
Exactly.
So that's like a placement, maybe from paid ads, or it could be organically placement. It's just
exactly
either in the video, but also in the description. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do anything. Okay. Don't go to a link. Just send me a DM.
Yeah.
Or comment. Hey, DM me. Whatever.
Yeah. I reply to all comments, something like that, right? So that they know that you're going to interact with them. Yeah.
Something that really works a lot is just reply interested in the comments if you want me to send you an email or send you a DM about this, right? And that way, I mean, you might get one reply, you might get 100, depending on how your content actually motivated people to do something. But once you have 2 or 3, those are 3 potential clients. That
Yeah.
they said interested is because they actually saw something in you that they didn't see on anything else, right? Or anyone else. So go ahead and DM them, or once you receive their DM, just go ahead and say, "Hey, I'm glad that you're interested. Here I am. My name is blah blah blah," and you know start your pitch there, or just start a conversation.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed on Instagram is that people that are really successful selling stuff, they actually start long conversations on DM with
Yeah.
with their potential customers,
Mm-hmm.
and the customers just ask them for things, and they just keep talking and keep talking, and you realize at some point, yeah, I'm actually talking to a person here. It's not
Exactly.
just an AI or
The
just some
connection gets
bot.
lost.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Or just a random automatic answer that will just keep repeating and repeating and repeating.
Mm.
Just try to get because the more conversations you have, the more potential clients that you're going to be engaging with, and it might not buy anything from you at that point, but it will you will stay in their mind. You will stay in their brain and say, this guy actually talked to me for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that, so I'm gonna keep him in mind when I need your
Mm.
service, right?
I think what I'm
So
getting from here
yeah.
is, as well, for business owners, maybe have you. Let's just say some of them may have their business logo as their profile picture, right? It might be hard for some of them to think about, well, how do I kind of make that personalized? Like
Yeah.
if I've got that logo and I still think that the service can be there. That's how you could look at it. So, still message the brand, but the person you're going to talk to is the person you're going to talk to for a long period of time.
Yeah.
They could be the ones to help you out. But also, as a business owner behind that brand, you still now need to have someone that's that, again, thought leader, or someone who can be presenting more about
The
the,
content.
the,
Yeah.
the content. Exactly. So for them, don't get stuck with that. Make sure that you think about it. Look, do I want to get on camera or do I not want to get on camera?
Yeah,
Find
exactly.
someone that can, or create some content for you that can be of videos of use, because when we start talking about retargeting with ads and things like that, you're going to need it. But that's a whole nother topic. But
Yeah.
at least you could be behind the scenes, right? You could be there helping out and supporting it until that point comes where you've got to get a support team on because the business is growing. But try and still have that support team as personal as possible. And that's where you're going with that, right? So try and have, like,
Yes.
they're building that community with those people. Try and have them stay in touch with that person. Give them a high level of service. And again, it probably leads back to where we're talking about, they really are starting to turn into more of a search engine, aren't they? When you think about
Yes.
it, more people are going to be just using these platforms to have conversations. And once the brain kind of ticks over and goes, really, that's what Instagram is now allowing us to do, is just interact with those
Yeah.
businesses, but on a more personal level. So yeah, that's where I think that's where my mind was going for business owners, where they get stuck, because some of them just have the logo or like their brand, but they don't know how to kind of make that personal connection work if they don't want to be the face of that business, right?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things that, when you ask me about the ROI,
Hmm.
one of the things that you should do with the ads is try to get people to do something with your ad. Because if it's just an ad that doesn't make people do anything, first of all, it's very difficult to actually measure if you're actually having some impact or not, or if your ad is actually motivating people to call you or to go to your website. It can be anything. Like, if you have a lot of website visits all of a sudden, it can be your ad, or it can be bots from Russia or whatever, right?
That's right.
Because that happens a lot. So try to make people do something, and that something should be as personalized as possible. Like, send me your name through email, or send me, I'm sorry, send me your name your name through a direct message, or give me a comment if you're interested, just what we talked about, or give me something, I don't know, tell me a problem that you have on the comments and I can answer it for you. If you are struggling with this, say yes. Things that are very quick. So okay, no one answered yes. Maybe this ad is not working as well. I mean, a lot of people saw it, but no one answered. So maybe the targeting is not very good. So let me see what the targeting is about. Because again, it's about testing stuff and see what is working, what's not.
Exactly. And there's engagement, right? There is engagement for business owners
exactly.
listening. There's engagement objectives that you can choose. So you just want that to be what you're trying to run with your ads. And it can just be getting engagement and trying to make that happen. That's true.
So yeah, the ROI is, I mean, the best way to measure it is that if you have actually a call to action. There's one case that I had with a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They were advertising, they were kind of opening, so no one really knew them, and they were advertising their the new restaurant on a marathon of people who went to a marathon that was really in the same street that they were. So yeah, after the marathon, come to the restaurant, whatever. So
good idea.
He told me, how do we know, if this works? Because I don't know. A lot of people are going to go into the marathon. Maybe they saw the restaurant outside the street, when they were on the street, and they just went in because they were hungry. So it doesn't have anything to do with the campaign. So how do we do? So what I said was, let's make a call to action that says, if you went to the marathon, show me your wristband and we'll give you 5% discount. Something like that. And they say, okay, let's do it. So a lot of people showed up. It was a full line of people with, the little wrist band from the marathon. And that's the measure, because when they ask, they say, oh yeah, I saw it on Instagram. That's why I'm here. I'm showing you the thing. If it was someone who actually had the wristband but never said anything about the discount or anything, that person wasn't coming from Instagram. It just came, because he was nearby and they saw the restaurant, and that's it.
How you can measure it.
But yeah, that was a good measure, because there was a call to action. The call to action was, show me your wristband and we'll give you the 5% discount.
What about organic though? Like, how would you go with organic, as far as, we're talking about engagement, and like, do you find a lot of your clients will have a KPI for you, for example, or for themselves as the business, that they just want followers? Is that something that you're finding, or is it more engagement as far as how month on month or week on week or quarter on quarter they're finding that's increasing? Like, what is it because I can tell you straight away in the paid space that I know that they're looking for conversions, and looking for an increase in conversions, and they're looking for a better quality of lead. They're looking for essentially results. Like, at the end of the day, we could do as much as we want, but they just want results. So like, I guess where I'm trying to get at is, because I don't really do anything with the organic space as such, do you see any of those? Like, I'm very interested to find that out, because I think that's what a lot of business owners get stuck with. So the example you're saying with the restaurant is perfect. I think that makes sense for a storefront, especially people coming after an event. You can kind of track the ROI if you're running ads on that. Like, absolutely. But what about even just for them with maybe that like basic kind of, is it growth? What is it? What is it that they're finding, that you're finding?
Well, I think the first thing that they want to see is growth on their following.
It is, okay.
Because because they see that as a sign of authority, of we have more authority because we have a lot of followers and the followers are engaging or whatever. But what I would say is not just about the followers, but it's about the relationship with your followers.
Yeah, okay.
A smaller but highly engaged audience is much more valuable than a massive but not as engaging following.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you could have an audience of 1,000, but 80% of them are interacting with your content. That's amazing.
And that's great. It's only 1,000, but 800 of those are actually interacting with you at some point. That's great. And of those 1,000 people, you have sold, I don't know, 30% of the services. 30% of those audience members actually bought something from you. That is
Yeah,
great. Or are
good
in the way
conversion.
of buying something from you. That is great, right? And it's only 1,000. But
Yeah.
30% of 1,000 is 300. That's a lot.
So an engaged,
So
it is, and it's an engaged audience. It's again building that community. It sounds like
yeah,
that's where it's leading to. Again, building
exactly.
that community. Because I just know, and business owners are so time poor. They just don't have a lot of
Yeah.
time. I mean, that's why when
And
I
and don't be fooled. Like, a lot of influencers and people that have a lot of following
yeah
bases and things like that, they don't sell as much because they
yeah
don't have any product. They just their product is just them doing stuff and doing engaging
or they
stuff.
get promotions. Like you're saying, they're
Yeah,
sponsored.
so their product is views. Like,
Yeah, true.
Instagram pays them for views, or
Creativity.
creativity, or they want to show some product to someone that is kind of new, so the product goes out to those to that audience, so the company pays them for that product to be on their on one of their videos or one of their posts. But they don't sell as much services, right? They don't sell that much. What the companies or the accounts that sell more services are the ones that are actually engaging with their community. And if you have 1 million followers, it's very hard to interact with your
Yeah.
community because you will
Yeah.
have, I don't know, thousands of comments.
Yeah.
So how are you going to reply to comments that you think are might be interesting for you, or
That's right.
it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be complicated.
And that's what I was
So
saying with the service level agreement. Almost, it's that if you do
yeah,
start, to promote that business brand name instead, you've got to think about that too, like who you're hiring to have that
yeah,
communication with them and continue that level of service that you would do if you were just the face of the company. Because as they grow, and a lot of the business that I work with, they're not able to sit there and do an hour and a half. They're not able to sit there
yeah,
and reply. But at the end of the day, if you've got good people working there and they continue to feel like it's a real person that you're talking to, I think that's a really good way to look at it. It's just how do
yeah.
you make that happen? I guess it's making sure, as you said, that you're giving valuable information, you're having a long form content conversation with those people, and the service that you're providing or the offer that you're putting out there is actually solving a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that if you grow to thousands and thousands of followers, what I just said, you will separate from your audience more and more.
Yeah.
You will
Grow apart.
separate from them because it's not it's
Impossible.
not manageable. It's complicated to manage. But if you have, I don't know, 3,000, those 3,000, at some point you will even think that you know all of them by name because
Yeah.
you know who they are. They will comment with your to your content. They will interact with you. They will send you DMs. They will send you kudos if you have some achievements or things like that. They will go into your stories and comment them or react to them. And when you see that notification on your app, you're gonna see, oh, this is I don't know, Erica, who always comments, and she actually bought something from me in the past or whatever. So and that is valuable. It's not as valuable if you have, I don't know, 2 million and you never talk to anybody because it's impossible, right?
Yeah.
You cannot talk to anybody. You can maybe hit like on some first comments, but after that you're out because it's impossible. It's not manageable. So yeah, I think what you have to aim for when you're a service-based business is um, smaller but highly engaged audience. That's the value. That's
Yeah.
what you're trying to look for. If you are a client that is asking for, I don't know, 50,000 followers, something like that. First of all, it's not gonna be that easy to get there, and being a company or even a person who offers some kinds of services, but also it's not going to be what actually gives you the sales.
Yeah.
Is not that. What gives you the sales is the good strategy, the good content, the good interaction, or the proper interaction with your followers, and a good call to action that will, drive people to actually engage with you in a way that they know that they're going to be sold something at some point in the process, but they can ask you things, they can ask
Yeah.
you things, and they
It's
don't
being very
feel
specific
that.
up front, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
you've got it. The service that you provide in the content that you're giving the information away for free is obviously something they're interested in. So if they're coming into a community, there's got to be a point where they may want help with that service, right? They want
Yeah.
that solution as well. They wouldn't be coming into there and being with the rest of the people if they didn't know at the end of the day that they wanted to try and solve that problem
Yeah,
themselves.
exactly.
No, it's true. I think that's one of the biggest key takeaways that I've seen from today is that you don't have to have such a big audience, which I think is really going to help a lot of these business owners. But you can make
Yeah.
sure that it's engaged. And I mean, the topic of today's podcast pretty much really sums it up in saying that you want to turn it into a client attracting machine, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
It's not necessarily about how many followers you've got. Engagement does play a part, like you were saying, Alex, all along, and even at the beginning. I do believe that is a huge piece, but
Yeah.
it's how much time you can commit to doing that and doing it in the right way. So creating, number one, content that helps solve a problem or answers the question for them, making sure that gets
Yes.
engagement, but then yourself jumping on the platform and engaging with those other channels, but also engaging, most importantly, with your audience that's coming through either from the call to actions you put in the content you're creating. So yeah, it's a little
Or in the
ecosystem.
ads.
Well, the
Yeah.
ads. I mean, ads again for me, if we were to sort of maybe wrap up the end of it with ads, I would say probably that ads for me, what I'm running right now is somewhat taking people away from Instagram, to be honest with you. Like they will see something, they'll take it off to a website or a landing page. They will watch a masterclass. They'll maybe download some content that's an add-on for them. And then when we get to the point, we will retarget them with more content. And they may or they may not follow the channel because we're going to always retarget those people specifically with the content
Yeah.
that they've watched. So it's a hard one. We're not necessarily asking for growth when I've sort of run ads myself. And for business owners that don't really want to build too much of that community piece at this stage, I mean, I totally believe it's valuable. I think, and I've seen it, you've seen it, you live and you breathe it. We see it as we go along with our careers. But if I was to put paid ads, it's such a different, what am I looking for? Like a different strategy, to be honest with you. Well, it is at the end of the day, organic and paid, but it's it's so different. It's like black and white. It's a completely different view. Unless, of course, you're running ads for engagement, then I can see some value with that. But if I'm looking from a lot of the business owners that I talk to, they just want results. And they want quick
Yeah.
results. They want leads in. They want people that are interested at the end of the funnel. They're not necessarily looking right
Yeah,
now.
and the ads will give them that
Straight away. That.
Definitely.
Straight away. If you're looking for someone who wants to buy vinyl covers that are beautiful, like back to that vinyl example, like to be airtight and look after them, I can target them. You've got to show videos of the product. You've got to build it over time. Whereas I will get that in front of you straight away with paid ads. So they're two different strategies. But I think for business owners that are looking for that low-hanging fruit, no, I really think that engagement piece is how long can you spend doing it? Whether, again, it's 15, 20 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes. Do you want to run paid ads? Well, it's something that you can consider for Instagram. I definitely think it's worthwhile. You've just got to think, what's the ROI you want from it? And is it converting? And if it is, how much is it costing you to get a lead? And how frequently are those leads converting? Whereas with Alex's strategy, if you've got a service that you can build a community around, you don't need a big community. And I love that. I think that's a really good way for business owners to look at it without getting too scared of trying to get into this space, because it can be scary. There's so much you need to know. I mean, even listening to the conversation today, there's so many things that makes me kind of my brain fire off in different areas, but you've got to then hone back in and go, well, what's really going to move the lever? What's going to move that dial for me that's actually going to allow me to still have a life and not just sit there and doom scroll. And those people doom scroll and not necessarily take action on the platform. So yeah, really, really good points. I think absolutely with community, that's a good one to look at. Let me ask you
just
one
think
other
about it.
You go. Sorry, you go.
Let me actually ask you one.
Okay.
You've handled and have helped a lot of mortgage brokers, for example,
Yeah.
in their businesses, right?
Definitely one of our niches. Yes.
So I mean, what's a good number for 1 year work of a mortgage broker of clients? Like, I managed to have, like, I don't know, 50 clients in this 1 year. What's a good
Yeah.
number?
Look, for them, I think anything over, I would say 100 to 120 clients in a year is a very good year. Uh,
Okay. So
that's
think about that.
converted. That's converted. So leads, though, if you're looking at leads,
Yeah.
and they convert sort of 30%, well, let's extrapolate that. Maybe, 30 would say convert 60, 120. So 500 leads, 600 leads. Because in the mortgage
Okay.
space, it's expensive. You're
Yeah.
competing with some of the big players out there. So
Yeah, you have like big players. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you got $50, $60 clicks in some
So
cases.
think about with ads, you can get to that number fairly easy. I
Mm,
mean, if you know your niche, if you know your audience, if you know
absolutely.
you know how to get there, it's gonna be easy. And if you do the both things, I mean, you do the ads, but you also build community. At the end of the day, 120 people is 10% of 1,000, right?
Yeah.
A little bit over
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
10% of what
Exactly.
of 1,000. It's not a lot of people. I mean,
No,
you
it's
don't
not.
have to, interact to more than 1,000 or plus people, or have more than 1,000 plus followers to get to those 10% kind of, good clients, or actual paying customers. So that's it. I mean, it's not a big number. So you don't
No.
have to have 1 million followers. You don't have to have the 100,000 followers. You don't have to have the 50,000 followers. It's not important. It's really not.
And the ones that I see that do well, if you're talking about that example as well, are the ones that niche down. So again, follower count doesn't need to
Yeah.
be big, but they niche down on that service. And I think that's a real struggle as well. When you start, it's the same as when in e-commerce people start talking about your SKU list. How many different products you've got to sell. If you keep going bigger and bigger and bigger and having all these different SKUs that you've got to sell, it gets very complicated. And sometimes it's not
Yeah.
always on the same. Like if you're selling vinyl covers again and you hone down on that, it's profitable business. You can sell enough, just run it, right? Whereas
Yeah.
with our example, mortgage brokers, the ones that I see that do well organic or through Instagram are the ones that are, again, yes, building that community, but they niche down in that one space. So for example, first
Yes.
home buyers, they
Yeah.
niche down on it. They talk about that topic all day, every day, and that's the only problem they're trying to solve. So I would just say business owners out there, think about that too. I mean, I struggle with that in our business. As a digital agency, it is hard because we do quite a lot.
Yes. Just to talk about one thing. Yeah.
I mean, if you and I talked about Instagram every single time we came on this podcast, I'm telling you, the listeners would be absolute geniuses at Instagram by the end
Yeah.
of it,
Exactly.
and so would we, because it's the only platform. But the thing is, things change so fast in the space that there's so many different
Yeah.
platforms we need to work with. But if you are a service provider and you go online, and we would just talk about that one topic, I would say your audience would be built around a specific niche, and they would actually care about what content you're putting out a lot more. And that's the ones I see with mortgage brokers that are doing well. Those like even solicitors, over the years working with
Yeah.
solicitors as well, they're highly competitive. How could I put this? A good return on investment. Like their margins are very lucrative once they make a sale. So
Okay.
if you're saying a business is converting, let's say 10, well, they'd be making upwards of $1 million a year, or plus $1 million plus a year. So it's quite lucrative for a business just to
Yeah.
sort of have those amount of clients. And same with solicitors, same with real estate agents as well. We work with it's a lucrative space. So you don't have to have such a big niche, but the thing is, a lot of people understand, what those services are, but also there's still educational pieces that you can add value to in those specific pockets. So where I'm trying to get at is,
Right.
if you're a real estate agent, you want to show the product, you want to show the house, you want to show what it's doing. You don't want to stand there and explain what a real estate agent does.
Yeah.
You got what I'm
Exactly.
saying? People already know what they do. Again, for a mortgage broker, there might be some people that get a bit stuck on necessarily what they do, but then again, you got to go into silos. So where I'm trying to get at with this is that niche down, figure out what industry you are and what silo you can target with if you're in one of those spaces. Because that's where I find that business owners get lost because there's just so many other areas that they can move into. You know, and if you're only building it with a small audience, well, don't try and like scatter that audience across trying to talk about first home buyers, refinancing, car finance, home insurance. There's a lot of things that they sell, but you try and put all of that, people are just going to switch off, and there's too much for them to try and understand at one point. So
yeah, definitely.
What else have you got for me? I've kind of got maybe I think, look, we've answered so many questions today. I think it's been a really good episode for listeners.
It's been really good. Yeah.
There's a lot for people to digest. Instagram is definitely a beast. I'm excited to see where it goes over the next 6 months. I've heard stories of it being sold. I don't know if you've heard that. I've sort of seen bits and pieces about Instagram possibly being sold. Yes. I mean, I don't know if that's true. So we'll see where that goes. I think that the search conversation we had is where I believe it's going to go as well. I mean, TikTok's there. People use that instead of, searching on Google. So
definitely.
Let's do a prediction between you and I. Where do we see things are going to go with Instagram in the next 6 months? I mean, what if you had a crystal ball? Let's see how good we are, and then we can come back and see. But if you had a crystal ball, what would you see Instagram doing over the next? Let's even go up to the end of the year if you want. So 2025 in general. What are they going to change? What are they going to do? And what do you think is going to happen?
I think it will move more and more towards full-on video platform instead of instead of a combination of two things, images and videos. I think you will see, I don't know, 99% video and the rest just images, and the images will be relegated to people with personal accounts and family and things like that. Sort of like a Facebook thing right now. Like the accounts that you see that have a lot of images and things like that are either memes, things that are funny, or
they do well, hey?
Or family pics. That's it. The rest is just video. Is video on all forms, long form, short form, but it's just video. So I think Instagram is going to go that way, and they are going to allow more and more. I mean, they do allow right now to do a lot of longer videos right now.
Yeah.
Like really long, like hour videos.
Really?
But but they are going to do that with the reels. The reels right now go up to 3 minutes, I think.
Okay.
And
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they're going to, increase that to up to 5 or something like that. And they're going to go as TikTok went, which is, with chapters and things like that. Like, for example, you can do a series of videos on TikTok and put some chapters and name the series. I don't know, things that you need to do to X, Y, Z. Yeah, exactly. So, and you see chapter 1, chapter 2, up to, wherever you want. So I think that's the way that they're going to put the platform during this year. And the other thing, of course, they're going to be much more sophisticated on the SEO part. They're going to niche down each and everything, every trend that they find. They're going to niche it down so you can only see that kind of content when you're on the platform. And they're going to perfect that to a very, very strong point. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
what do
I
you
get
think?
you. Oh, it's a hard one. I agree with you with all those points. Probably the only thing I would say added on top of that is adding in some AI. I believe that there's going to be more parts with AI for sure.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I'm this year, in the next 6-12 months, just this year alone, I think everything's going to change with the way that AI is going. So definitely adding in more. What that means, I don't know. Maybe more so around the search content. I mean, for me personally, I use search quite a lot to look for things. It doesn't always give you the best results, but it does give me suggestions.
Well, YouTube just added dubbing, like,
oh, really?
of the videos. So and that's AI, of course. So that's, I think,
so language dubbing, yeah.
Yeah, language dubbing. Yes.
Nice. Okay. Well,
So I don't know if your video is in Spanish, and you can actually select it. If you're a creator and have a good following or whatever, you have this tool, and I mean they open this tool for you, and you can select, like, for example, if your videos are in Spanish or in English, you can select the language that you want to be available in. So you can select up to five, I think,
that's brilliant. Hey?
languages.
And AI
Yeah,
is just doing it. I mean,
brilliant. Yeah,
it makes
and you
sense.
just do
Hey?
it It just does it automatically. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
you don't have to do anything. If someone goes in and your content is in English, and someone goes in
Just
from, I
dubs
don't
it.
know, Singapore,
Yeah.
it just dubs it to the actual language that they're speaking there. So yeah,
That's
it's
that's a
crazy.
that's a game changer as well, especially if you
Yeah,
can sell your service internationally, right? If you're not just
yeah,
local, you're selling products.
100%.
Yeah,
And it also opens your audience to the whole world, basically.
yeah. It was something I was listening to the other day. There was a really good interview podcast with Mark Zuckerberg, and Mr. Beast was on there. I don't know if you've seen it. It's
Yeah,
worth looking it up.
yeah, yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
I've seen Mr. Beast, the channel, but I didn't see that conversation.
Yeah, he talks a lot about that, actually. He was talking about how Facebook doesn't allow for something along the similar lines, but he was saying if it could open it up to that, allowing that to have different languages, because the best content he creates is content that doesn't have any words in it. And also
Yeah,
some of the best creators out there have content that doesn't speak a language. It's just visually appealing to
yeah.
people, right? So anyone can watch it. And I think that's funny. It's almost like a trend that's coming along that, that sort of stuff is making sense. So if to have YouTube do that, I wonder if Instagram will start to think about that as well. A feature that I see
That's
that
what I think. I mean, Instagram, it's an ideal platform to do
it's
that. I
perfect. Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's
Why don't
perfect.
they do it? Well, one thing they took away ages ago, I don't know what the reason was. If you remember what the feature was, this could be something that could come back, maybe part of this year, but you used to be able to search locally and look for things around you. They took that
Oh
away.
yeah,
You used to be
they
able to
took that
find
away.
things,
Yes,
yeah. So I think they took it away for security reasons. And something
probably.
that's something funny that's come up recently, which probably makes sense why it's also a good thing to take away. A kind of a bit of a, I don't know what you want to call a bit of a hack, but people are getting like celebrity photos or like location shots of people that are out and about, and they're putting it into these AI platforms now, and it can determine exactly where that person is. So say for
Yeah,
example, you're out with your family and you take a photo like near a restaurant or something like that. You can put that photo into AI now and it'll tell you exactly where that person was in the world and what restaurant it is.
yeah.
Pretty scary. So
Wow,
yeah, so I
that's
think
scary. Yeah,
that privacy piece probably will be something they'll keep away. But yeah, I think they'll add AI. I think they'll improve their search feature, their function. I mean, I was just looking at it
yeah,
before. I was just looking at Instagram before. Like, I do go on there quite a lot. We've got elections coming up in Australia soon. And
yeah.
they've just put a message up there to say, see election information, like quite a big box as well. They put up the top. I mean, I think just, yeah, that search function, I believe, could do so much better than what it is. So I believe that will happen. And maybe they'll get a little bit of an update with posting. I mean, they've got a whole section just for shorts, right? So you can just click on shorts. So yeah, we'll see. I think I might have just lost you a little bit with audio. Let me just fix that up.
What do you mean? Can you hear me now? Hello, hello.
There we go. So all good. So
Okay.
yeah, I think they'll do all of that this year. That's my prediction. Apart from what you were saying, but I can't see anything else. AI updating their search function, and maybe doing a little bit more with the length of videos, like you said. I think that's probably what they're going to do. All right. Awesome.
All right.
Well, let's
see
wrap it
what
up.
happens.
That was a big episode for everybody. So again, like we said today, if there's any questions, reach out. Let us know. We're here. We're happy to answer. We're real. So feel free
Yes.
to ask us questions about this stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes. And if you have any other questions you want to ask us, like I said, reach out to Alex or myself. We're always available. And once again, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, everyone. And as you probably noticed, we love to talk about this stuff. So just let us know if you have any questions. And yeah, we'll definitely be there.
All right. Thanks, Alex. I'll talk to you
All
soon.
right. Thank you, Cameron. Bye-bye.